don't want to be there, but I'm David Morse. Most of you know me by now, but welcome to today's session, which will be a little unique than most of our other sessions. We're going to do something a little more physically oriented, but as you all know, I mean, the core of our existence is largely how we take care of ourselves, regardless of whatever disease we're dealing with or whatever illness, and taking care of ourselves is critical. And I think I'm walking proof of the fact that by being in shape, when I went through my prostate cancer treatments, I was so much better off than 90% of the guys that went through it with me, and would complain about this, complain about that. And they said, well, what did you do for exercise in the last couple of days? Not much. So whatever exercise you choose, I think is up to you, but just means of dietary and manage your body and so on is critically important. So today's session will deal with that a little bit. And before I do introduce Carl, I just wanted to tell you that we've got this year's brochures ready to go, and this year meaning September through next August. So we don't have the specific speakers on it. We just have the dates, but the dates won't change, and we'll make sure we notify you about speakers as we go. Usually a month ahead of time, we know our speakers. We know for the next couple of months that we've got some great speakers lined up, so we'll keep you informed about that. Well, Carl Ganowski has been around this business for a long time, teaching here at the hospital, right here in this very room. He runs a session, I don't know how frequently, once a month?
And here it's first and third Mondays.
First and third Mondays at 12 noon, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He runs a group that comes in and varies from one day to the next, of course, from what people's schedules are like, but I frequently get in before he finishes, so I see him at work, and I can tell you that he's very good with what he does. And he can tell you a little bit more about Tai Chi and its implications for all of us, and explain a few things, maybe go through some exercises for those that want to participate. I'm going to try, and I know a couple of others are. So without further ado, Carl Ganowski, who is
Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. It's quite humbling to be here, but I'm very grateful to be in your presence here. I do the class as open to the general public. Anyone who wants to come can. Whether it be someone who's going through something, or a caregiver, or just somebody who wants a little bit of exercise. The Thrive program itself is separate from what I do, but I am involved in that as well. I do physical therapy here. I've been doing physical therapy for over 20 years, primarily in hospital, rehab center, and home-based. And I also own my own company, and I'm doing similar type activities, exercises, along with my wife. She is an 8-year cervical cancer survivor, so it's nice to have her on the team as well. And together we combine exercise with different types of meditation, relaxation, and so a wide variety of things. It really depends on the individual. We'll also go and do group sessions in community groups, such as Kiwanis Club, or church groups, or senior centers, whatever. My company, I view it as a faith-based organization. One of my strongest things that I believe in is that we are given gifts from above to share with others in order to glorify God, according to 1 Peter 4:10. And I don't really push that issue, but I just really like to share what I've been given so that others can benefit from it. So that's a big reason why I really like to spread around what I do. Tai Chi is a type of martial art, and that's not what we're going to be doing today. We're not going to do kicking and punching or what have you, but a lot of people are a bit intimidated by the whole Tai Chi thing, because they see it's all different sorts of movements and flows, and it's kind of complicated. I do what's called rehabilitative Tai Chi, so it's a series of exercises that use moves or postures or poses from Tai Chi, and they're as gentle or as challenging as you want to make it. I've worked with people who have had strokes and entire sides of their bodies don't work. I work with people with amputations who don't even have that side of their or parts of their bodies anymore. Anybody can do it, but if you decide to do it, realize that only do it to the level that you're comfortable and feeling safe. So it can be done sitting down or standing up. One of the main things I also love about this is that it's multi-plane. And what that means is that in real life, we rarely do something like you see in a physical therapy or exercise session, such as pick up a weight and go like this 10 times, 3 sets of that. Well, that's all well and good, not without benefits, but how often do we really need to do this 10 times in 3 sets? We don't. But with the Tai Chi, it works our bodies in multiple planes. So it works areas like balance, endurance, strength, stress relief, all at once. And what it can do for people who are going through the cancer journey is it can benefit them anytime from initial diagnosis to long-term survivorship for those reasons that I've mentioned. But also what a lot of people don't know is that whether directly or indirectly, exercise can help to prevent reoccurrence or initial onset of cancer. So if you've had it once, you're more vulnerable or more likely to get it again. Now this varies there's a million different variables, but if you exercise, you're less likely to have a reoccurrence of it. It can also help you with the management of symptoms of both the diagnosis as well as the treatment. One of the biggest side effects of cancer and cancer treatments is lymphedema, and that's one of the things that doctors talk about the least. It's like cancer's hidden little secret, and yet it's everywhere. Whether you have radiation to a particular body part or you have lymph nodes removed, okay, the lymphatic fluid can really get backed up. So a lot of what we do helps to pump that in a really gentle way, because we don't want to exercise aggressively, because that can bring on onset of lymphedema as well, or it can bring on pain that discourages us from exercising in the first place. So it's a really beautiful form of exercise. It's so beneficial, and yet there's really no side effects to it unless you overdo it. Now that may be possible to do the first 1 or 2 times you do, but as long as you're tuned into what your body can do, and if you've had radiation to lymph node or lymphatic involvement, you obviously want to use your compression garments if that's appropriate for what you're doing. But aside from that, do it to your intensity, your level, and you really, really benefit from it. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go through a series of those exercises, and for those who are interested in doing it, I say come on and stand up, or if you choose to remain sitting, that's okay too. But just try to get your own space, because we're going to be moving body parts in different directions. Okay? And when I initially learned this, it was in a room full of athletic trainers and physical therapists, and we were kicking each other and poking each other in the eye and everything. So you want a little bit of your own bubble space so that you can do these exercises in a comfortable, confident manner. So if you choose to stand up, come on and stand up. Move your chairs aside. If you want to remain in your chair while you do it or just observe, that's okay too. I just ask that you all have your own space. So as we go through these exercises, I'm going to talk about them at times from a Western medicine perspective. Even though it's an Eastern art, I'm going to talk about it from how it can benefit you as a patient, if you will. So the first thing we're going to focus on is breathing, because our bodies need oxygen to do any sort of exercise. So by breathing, we provide the fuel necessary to do the exercise. But also with proper breathing, we work on flexibility or pumping the lymphatic fluid from the lower body, which this being a prostate cancer group, lots of people probably have issues with stagnation of the lymphatic fluid in the lower body. So simply by doing diaphragmatic breathing, we're going to help to pump that fluid. So I'm going to stand sideways and move a little bit as I do this. But the first type of breathing we're going to do, we either call belly breathing or abdominal breathing. And what's going to happen is as we breathe out, the stomach will fill with air. And as we breathe in, things will tighten up and form a strong support structure for the core. But also by doing that contraction and relaxing, we're going to pump that lymphatic fluid. So what we're going to do is 10 breaths, and I'm going to exaggerate my movement and my breath for illustration purposes, but you just do it according to your understanding and abilities, okay? So I'm going to breathe out, and I'm going to breathe in. And as I breathe out and in, my pelvis is going to tilt back and forth to help to create that pumping mechanism. So really it's just an exaggerated form of breathing. That's all it is. Okay, so I breathe out, my butt and stomach stick out, and when I breathe in, my stomach and my butt tuck in. I'm going to go 10 times on that. Okay, so we feel that squeezing and relaxing down in that whole lower trunk area. One very important thing, before you get involved in any exercise sort of program, get permission from your doctor. Any personal trainer out there who is worth their weight will require this of you, but not everyone does. So please make sure that it's okay with your doctor that you're doing what we're doing. Whether it be, for whatever reason, they may decide to have you wait a little while or put particular conditions or restrictions on what we do. I'm not a doctor. I don't know everything that's going on inside your body. Okay? So please get permission from your doctor. Okay. All right, the next breathing exercise we're going to do is called accordion breathing. And we're going to lift the elbows as we breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're going to tuck the elbows into the ribs. And this is going to help to make the trunk more flexible so it's easier to breathe. When people are going through treatment or have had procedures, it's real easy to get tired. And if you breathe easier, you're more likely to exercise and you're going to get more of the benefits from it. If you get tired faster, you won't be able to do as much. So that's why we focus on breathing.
Inhaling as you go up.
Inhale and lift.
As you go down.
Yep. So we're gonna squeeze the air out of our trunk as our elbows come in, and we're going to make room for the air as we lift our elbows. Our ribs are shaped like bucket handles. So as we lift them, they're going to pull away from our body and make room for the lungs to expand. Go one more time here. Squeeze. Okay, we're going to kick it up a notch and do what's called sponge breathing. Basically, the whole body is going to be a sponge. Think of it as a sponge. And as we squeeze everything, the air is going to come out. And as we open up, the air will come in. So it looks like this. I'm going to exaggerate again my movement and my breath for demonstration purposes. And then we breathe in. if you want to, when you make yourself big, and if you're doing this while you're standing, take a step out to the side, and you can add a component of balance activity, okay? If you just want to remain here or here, that's okay too. But if you're looking to improve balance as well and use the muscles here a little more, as you breathe out, step out. As you breathe in, step in. Breathe out, step together. Now, a big component of breathing, or two of the benefits of breathing are stress management and pain management. So when you do this, do as much as you can without causing additional stress or any pain. Okay? You're going to benefit from it no matter what you do. And the more you do it, the more you'll be able to do. But in Eastern medicine, they say don't try to get breakthroughs, just find where your body is willing to let go. So in some of the exercises we'll do that, but I don't want you to intentionally stretch yourself out. Just find out where your body's going to let it go. Okay, the next one is called sunrise. I'll turn sideways for this. We start with the arms by our side, the weight a little bit more on the heels than on the toes. As we breathe out, we're going to lift our arms and the hands will hang down. The weight goes more toward the balls of our feet. So we breathe in, and we breathe out. Now when we bring our arms down, the palms turn forward as they pass the hips, and the shoulder blades squeeze together a little bit. Anyone who's had any procedures, surgeries, radiation, whatever it may be, in the front of your pelvis, there's going to be a tendency to be round-shouldered and forward flexed, okay? And this is one of many exercises we'll do which will help with that. But this, in this way, will be one of those exercises. We'll breathe out, and we'll breathe in. Particularly if you've had the retroperitoneal prostatectomy, this really gets you tight in front, right in between the umbilicus and the pubic area. So this can really help with that. And if you happen to be taking a class in this, let your breath decide the speed and the intensity of your exercise. We don't all breathe the same length and the same speed. Because we want you to breathe and be relaxed, your breath will decide and not somebody else's. Good. Okay. Next one is called cloud hands. Okay, what we do is I'm going to demonstrate it first and then I'll turn around with my back to you so that it'll be easier to follow. So we start out with the weight over in your case, it'll be your right hip, okay, unless you're facing the same way I am, then it's your left hip, okay. The weight will be over one hip. You're going to take the opposite arm and put it out in front of the shoulder, okay. As you breathe out, you're going to shift the weight to the receiving side and turn. As you breathe in, your hands will switch. So breathe out. Breathe in. called cloud hand because your hand is a cloud that just floats across in front of your field of view. So it's always pulling to its own side right in front of your eyes. The hand that's not pulling just stays right by your side. There's only one arm up in the air. Okay, now we're going to move to ball circles. I'm going to do them in 3 different planes. First, we're going to go forward, then we're going to go diagonally to our right, and then diagonally to our left. So we're going to start with our hands about 12 inches apart, okay, knees slightly bent, or just slightly toward your tailbone if you're sitting, and you want to do the exercise. As you breathe out, you're going to make a circle away from you. As you breathe in, you're going to make it toward you. So I'll exaggerate movement and breath. And then after about 10 or so, whatever you're doing, reverse direction. All right, now we're going to go over the right leg. So we start with the left foot pointing forward. The right leg will take a step out at about a 45-degree angle. That same, your chest will be angled over your foot. Same ball, move forward as you breathe out, and backwards as you breathe in. We have an expression in physical therapy that says, we don't treat a diagnosis, we treat a person. And that means everyone's lived their own life and they have their own set of medical issues. If a person is in the hospital or being treated for one particular reason, chances are there's other things going on as well. For instance, I've had heart problems since before I was born. I have scoliosis, and I've battled successfully the demons of addiction for over 25 years. So I'm not just some guy up here doing exercise with you. You know, we all have our own stories. So this can help you with your strengthen your heart. It can help you with arthritis. It can help make scar tissue from procedures that you had 20, 30 years ago more flexible. So now let's go over the other side. Okay? Right foot pointing forward, left foot 45-degree angle here, and we're going to go forward and backwards as we breathe out and in.
All through the mouth?
Ideally, you would go in through the nose and out through the mouth. As long as you're breathing, that's 95% important.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why is because relaxation is so important. So if you're devoting a lot of attention to breathing the exact right way, then you're probably creating a little more tension in your body. So if you can do it without thinking, sure, it's the most beneficial. But don't do it so that it's counterproductive. One more time, then we reverse direction. Watch your backs on this. It's more motion from the hip, and it's not reaching over to touch your toes. Try to move your hips forward, and your knees will move forward, but don't let your knee go beyond your toes, because that's bad for arthritis. Oh yeah, I've got that too. Okay, good. This one we call Around the Universe. Same ball of energy. And we're going to start at the top here, and we're going to make a big circle. As we breathe out, we're going to go away from the starting position, and as we breathe in, we're going to return to the starting position. So I'm going to turn my back to you and show you how it looks like. So you shift your body whatever way you safely and comfortably can. And if all you can do is this, then do that. Okay? Because this is better than not doing that.
It really works on the hips.
It does, yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Strengthens and makes more flexible. And if something's going on with the lower trunk of your body, balance really can be an issue. Okay? So we practice this, and this gives you a stronger base to stand on. Okay. Next one is called Pair of Rocks Skimming Water. A lot of these have nature names. It's from the Eastern practice, but rocks are actually birds, R-O-C. I don't know why they chose to choose that bird, but anyway. So the pair of rocks, they start out above shoulder height on one side, and your weight is on that leg. And they just skim the water, and then they fly away. They skim the water, fly away.
It's great for your balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just swoop down, grab a fish, or whatever you want to do, and then fly away. If you feel confident as you're doing this, lift your heel of the non-standing leg. That's a slightly added challenge to your balance. Don't do it if it makes you uncomfortable or unsafe. This particular exercise doesn't have a rotational component to it. Some of them do, but this is strictly side to side. So. Yeah.
Sciatic nerve is getting better as we do this. Stretch as far as you can go in each case, or do what you want to do?
No, I want to refer back to what I was saying before. Let's find out what will let go. But I don't like to use that word stretch because that implies there's a force going on. So just find out what your body will allow you to do. Because if you really tune into what it'll allow you to do, then it'll allow you to do a little bit more than the initial time. That's one of the reasons why we go slowly too. Because if we go fast, we'll hit that wall and reflexively want to bounce back. But if we go slowly, we'll feel that wall coming, but we can ease our way through it if our body tells us it's okay. So slower is generally better. Plus, if you're going slower, it allows you to do like that single leg stance more, so you're working more on your balance and more on your strength, because it takes a longer time to do. Okay, so the next one is going to be an up and down motion. This is called gathering earth, and then we're going to do gathering sky. So you want to spread your feet apart, or if you're sitting, you can just start with your fingertips right in front of your heart. As you breathe out, you're going to reach down, you're going to scoop up some earth and bring it back to your heart as you breathe in. Do 5 times here. Depending on how deeply you want to get into the philosophy of this, you can think of it as releasing stale chi, and chi is life energy, life force, or as we in Western medicine call it, oxygen. Okay? But you release the stale chi, and you inhale fresh or new chi. It's not bad or good because it had a purpose. It served its purpose. Now you release it and you bring in new stuff. And now, yes?
The exercises start with breathing in or breathing out?
Depends which exercise you're doing, but that's a good question. The general rule of thumb is as you exhale, you exert or you initiate the exercise. So, and often but not always, you'll blow your body part away from you and you'll breathe it back in. So,
That's the gathering sky one?
pardon me?
That's the gathering sky one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still near it.
In traditional Tai Chi, they'll alternate. They go back and forth. But in rehabilitated Tai Chi, we'll do multiple repetitions so that we can really focus on the benefit of the one particular pose or movement. Because when you first start out, you're flexible a little bit, but by the 10th time, you're more flexible and your muscles have learned more than if you just did it one time. So,
and it's okay to feel lightheaded.
it's not it's not surprising that you may feel a little lightheaded, but if you do, okay, take a rest, but just sit down, let it pass. If it doesn't pass, then we'll talk about what to do after that. But typically, if you're lightheaded, just resting for a minute will take care of that. But that's one of the reasons why we want doctors' permission to do that. But also, anytime you're going to exercise, hydration is very, very important.
Oh, yes.
So, yes, even light stuff like this, if you're going to be doing it for 45 minutes or so, very important to stay hydrated.
We have water on the counter there for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so keep the questions coming because I can't think of everything in one setting, but we all put our minds together and we'll come up with more. All right, the next one is called Parting the Wild Horse's Mane. And I'll demonstrate facing you and then I'll turn around when it's a lot easier to understand. Okay, we're holding a ball in front of the shoulder, the top hand pushes down, we shift to the other side, the bottom hand becomes the top hand, and we scoop under so now that we're holding the ball in front of the other side. So we push down, bottom hand becomes the top hand, and then we sweep under. Okay, so there's 3 components. Push the hand down, make the bottom hand the top hand, and the bottom hand comes to hold the ball. So now I'm going to turn around. Push down, sweep up, scoop under. Push down, sweep up, scoop under. Now, it's a side-to-side motion, but if you feel comfortable adding a rotational component to it, do that as well. In other words, push down, sweep up, and you turn to the side, and then you scoop under. Push down, sweep up, scoop under. Push down, sweep up, scoop under. Now, I broke it down into individual parts, but it's really a flow. So now I'm going to flow. Okay? And it's okay if not everybody is doing exactly the same thing. If you're breathing and you're moving, That's good.
Love the basics.
The rest is just detail. Last I checked, there were 380 million people that lived in this country. No two are exactly alike. Push down, sweep up, scoop under. Push down, sweep up, scoop under. Push down, sweep up, scoop under. Okay. And we're going to do one that's called brush knee. It's a little bit similar to this. I'll demonstrate first. So you start with the ball in front of the same shoulder, but now the hands have switched position. So the three components of this are, you take your bottom hand and hang it. You take your top hand and brush across the knee and flip it over. And then you take your top hand, your new top hand, and you compress the air until you're holding the ball on the other side. So again, you take your bottom hand and you hang it. You brush across your knee and flip it over, and then you press the air until you're holding the ball on the other side. And again, if you're moving and you're breathing, that's good. But technically, this particular one looks like this. Hang the hand, brush the knee, flip it over, compress the air. Hang the hand, brush the knee, compress the air. Hang the hand, brush the knee, compress the air. Hang the hand, brush the knee, compress the air. Hang the hand. And for something like this is another reason why I do 10 repetitions, is because the first few repetitions, you might just be figuring out how to do it. Mm-hmm. So whereas repetitions 4 through 10, maybe you've gotten it by that. It might take a few repetitions to figure out what's going on. And in a traditional style Tai Chi class, they're going to be 4 moves ahead of you by the time you figure out what that was. So I like to keep this simple so you get the full benefit of it. You can really feel things loosen up as you get to the higher number of repetitions. Hang the hand, brush the knee, compress the air. Hang the hand, brush the knee, compress the air. All right, and I'm going to finish off with one called ringing the temple gong. Our livers, our kidneys, hold a lot of energy there. There's a lot of force that is used throughout our body. But this also is called fluffing the vertebral disc or something like that. Because it's a gentle twisting motion, which is going to help to open up the space between the vertebrae. As we age, the vertebrae compress. Okay? So by doing this, you help to open up that space, get some fluid in there. So all it is you're going to turn, and as you do so, you're going to tap your hands like this. You're going to go back and forth 10 times. Give yourself a good slap, too. There you go.
Reminds me of playing golf. Same motion.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of turning when you swing that golf ball. Bad back can even put Tiger Woods out. So.
He needs something.
Are you talking through the perspective of his ex-wife or through his back
No,
problem?
I'm a big Tiger fan, but he's falling apart. He just won something.
Oh, he's back. Yeah.
He won the Masters, but yesterday.
Yeah.
He'll be on top all the time.
Okay. So those are all the moves that I'm going to do, but I actually want to finish off with some walking. It's a particular kind of walking, so if we could spread the chairs here, just so that as a group, I can sort of file in behind me to do the walking. It's going to take a lot of the benefits that we just worked on and put them all together. So we start with the weight on the back hip. And the front foot is going to be angled at about a 45-degree angle. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to shift the weight to the front foot, and only once almost all the weight is on the front leg, we pick up that other leg and we make a little C, hit the heel first, and then go down. Okay? Make a little C, hit the heel first, and go down. If you find it too difficult, or you're more comfortable doing this, okay, tap your toe at the arch. Gives you a little bit extra balance before you then swing out to the side. Okay, but I can't emphasize enough, get all of the weight that you can on the stance leg, because if you pick up your back leg before all the weight is here, you might lose your balance, okay? And I even do that sometimes, so no harm in doing it. Okay? But get yourself balanced before you pick up that other one, and then go down.
45 degrees each time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's right. I'm sure I'm supposed to be doing that on my new hip. It wasn't been quite so bad.
Mm-hmm. And you can go as fast as you want, and because if you go really slowly, you're spending a lot of time balancing on one leg, and that can really be challenging.
It's easier fast.
So, yeah. So a little bit of, and what walking really is, every step we take, we're just catching ourselves from falling forward. That's what walking is. It's not the legs bringing the body somewhere. It's the body, the momentum of the body going somewhere, and our leg is stopping us from falling down. So yeah, speed is good to a point as long as it's safe.
Are you better off doing it barefoot?
I use my barefoot because I find that it's better contact and I get better feedback from the ground. However, barefoot is not appropriate for everyone. Some people have different length legs, some people have fallen arches. There's a whole variety of reasons why barefoot may not be appropriate for you. But I like to do it barefoot.
Barefoot on the beach.
The beach is a great place to do this because of the sand, it gives way. As a matter of fact, on I believe it's Monday nights at 15 minutes before sunset, Access 5, I believe it is. There's a woman named, I think her name is Diana, and she does sunset Tai Chi. And it's a lot of the same things we do here, but she'll flow right from one move to the next to the next. But again, with her, it's super gentle. If you're interested in it, Google it, it'll pop up. Just sunset Tai Chi, Sarasota, and Diana something or other will come up.
Which parking spot?
I believe it's Access 5 on Siesta. Yeah, it's right near the village. I think it's 5, but it might be like 1 or 2 above or below that.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I go sometimes too. Yeah. Anybody have any questions about anything we did or didn't do?
Thank you very much.
How often should one do this?
Well, some people do. Some people do it as a daily practice, and
It can't hurt.
anything can hurt if you do it too much, or you press it too much.
You're not stressing yourself. You're just moving gently and slowly.
No, that's why I love these exercises so much, is because you can decide how aggressive or how gentle you are with them. And if you find that you're looking for something a little more challenging, then there's a million places around town that'll do traditional style Tai Chi. But also the Thrive Oncology program offers Tai Chi and Qigong down at Health Fit a couple of times a week. So if you want to check that out as well, you can.
Yeah, HealthFit is down Clark Road, as you probably know, right? So just before you get to 75.
Yeah, Clark and 75 is our health club, and that's where they have those classes there. And if you like what you saw here today, then spread the word that I am here the first and third Mondays. But also, I would love to get back to. I did a class on Friday afternoons for the oncology population, whether it be patients or caregivers. But unfortunately, the time of day and the location didn't work out, so I typically didn't have anybody show up. But when I substituted and did this down at HealthFit with a full class, people really expressed an appreciation for this particular approach to the style. So,
What time is that at HealthFit?
I beg your pardon?
What time are you doing that at HealthFit?
I don't anymore. I fill in sometimes for the classes, and I would love to bring that class back on board. But when I did it here, nobody came for a variety of reasons. The time of day, the difficulty parking, and that. So,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah, it is a challenge.
Yeah.
So,
Now that you taught us about 10 movements, we forgot the first 8.
okay.
How can we get away with recording what we forgot?
I would recommend coming to the first and third Mondays. I don't have any recording of it, and I don't have the exercises to pass out because I don't want to have people doing something that their doctor may or may not have given them permission to do. So, but anybody who wants to come to the class is certainly welcome to. That's your own decision. And
What time is that, noon?
typically, it's the first and third Monday of every month, noon. But next month, it's going to be I think it's going to be the first and fourth Monday because I'm going to be away the third Monday. Although the first Monday is Labor Day, so they may tell me I'll not be able to do it. So call here ahead of time. But hopefully, we'll see more of you here as time goes on. And also, as I mentioned, I do have my business. And I do private sessions at home or out in a community setting, but I'll also do a free class like this pretty much within the Sarasota County area because I want other people to benefit from it. So I've done it at senior centers and churches and civic organizations. So, yeah, that's where we are.
Well,
So,
it's great.
thank you.
Great session. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we'll do it again. I feel better already.
Yeah, hopefully a little taller, a little stronger,
Yeah.
a little more relaxed.
Is your video?
Well, I think it's going to be on video, but I'm not sure how best to disseminate it. I talked to Carl about this first. Maybe there's a way to just.
You own that. Do what you want with that.
Yeah.
So maybe you
I'll
could
take
send
a
it
look
by
at it.
email.
Pardon me?
Maybe you could send it by email.
I'm going to take a look at it as
That
soon
was
as I
stand
can.
in
In
front
fact,
of
let me
the-
shut it off right now.
And if anybody